world witnesses Britain's historic rituals with the coronation of King Charles III, we take a look at the significance of the ceremonies to the vibrant diaspora communities in England. Who's been recognised by the monarchy for outstanding service to the British society? Nigerians certainly populate the list. And as the UK crowns a king, we get a close-up with a man regarded as the king of podiatry in San Diego, Dr. Christopher Otiko. Welcome to the show. I'm Ijoma Onyato. What a lineup we have. So let's kick off with a look at the news this week.
Millions of people across the UK and beyond eagerly anticipated the coronation of the late Queen Elizabeth II's son, King Charles III, who has been crowned alongside his wife, Camilla, as Queen Consort. Many royal fans were seen camping in tents before the day so that they could get front row seats for the event. The ceremony was held at Westminster Abbey with an enormous 2,000 people attending, including UK Armed Forces veterans, NHS and social care staff. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari joined other world leaders to celebrate this monumental event. During the week, we spoke to Nigerians in the diaspora to hear their thoughts on this historic occasion.
I think it's interesting to see what the future of the Commonwealth and the British Empire would be, being from a country that was colonized by England, of course. I think our own president he's actually here right now attending. So I don't know, just interesting to see how that's going to play out in the future. As we move forward, it seems like royal sentiment is kind of decreasing. So I don't know. I don't have any personal opinions about that, but I'm just more about I'm concerned about my country and the things that we can gain from moving forward as a nation, as an independent nation.
I'm happy to celebrate it with them because it seems like it's very important to them. I even saw coming here people camping, so you can really see the enthusiasm from them.
I think it's a nice event. I know a lot of people have had issues with the monarchy, especially I know since the Queen died there have been some resurfacing of things that happened during her time. But I think overall we can just appreciate what an event this is, especially given the age-old history of the monarchy and the UK in general.
We also made a special visit to the House of Lords for a discussion with Baron Taylor of Warwick about his thoughts on King Charles III, as well as the legacy of the Commonwealth today.
You see, a king, royalty, is above politics. He is, if you like, a supreme figure who can unite the nation. And we do need unity. We need unity at this time. And so I'm hoping and praying that King Charles can help to bring the nation together. So many years we've been focused on the European Union, but because of Brexit, we're now able to trade with other countries around the world without the EU telling us what to do. And that gives a great opportunity for the Commonwealth. I mean, let's look at the Commonwealth. It's 56 nations, 2.5 billion people, a third of the world's total population. Amazing trading power. And there's a great unity in the Commonwealth in the sense that the king is a father figure. He's not a politician, but he's a father figure, as the Queen was a mother figure to the Commonwealth. So I would say this is a great opportunity for Britain now to take its eyes off Europe, not to forget Europe, but to look at the opportunities that the Commonwealth brings in terms of trade and business, sport, fashion, music. It's an exciting time.
Teniola Oyetayo with your Diaspora News Network wrap-up from London.
Now, for the first time in centuries, the coronation ceremony reflected the diversity of the contemporary British society, one that's recognized many Nigerian men and women for their outstanding service. Let's take a look at some of them.
The crowning of a British monarch is a royal tradition that is steeped in over 1,000 years of history and brings together people from all around the world. "70 years after the enthroning of Queen Elizabeth II, the coronation of King Charles III at Westminster Abbey is another ceremony that will go down in history as one of the most important days in the British monarchy.
God save the King!
God save the King! Members of the royal family, foreign royals, world leaders all sit alongside celebrities and many others to witness the coronation. Performing with other world-class artists is Nigerian singer Tiwa Savage. Other Nigerians on the guest list: healthcare assistant Fumilola Shisonya, a beneficiary of the Prince Trust, and mechanical engineer Chigozie Anozie, a nominee for the Prince Trust 2023 Global Sustainability Award. Others are proud to be crowned coronation champions like Joyce Obaseki. She is the founder of a multi-award-winning social enterprise known as Grant a Smile CIC, which is fully operational in the United Kingdom, Myanmar and Nigeria. In 2020, she was awarded the Inspiring Women Scholarship Award by Imperial Business School London to study an executive MBA program, and in 2018 she was awarded the title of British Citizen of the Year. In succeeding his mother, King Charles III not only takes over the leadership of the United Kingdom, but also that of the Commonwealth, an organization of 56 independent countries, of which Nigeria is a member. The British monarchy, amongst many things, supports countless charitable causes, philanthropic initiatives, campaigns, volunteering and active citizenship through its many foundations and awards, with beneficiaries from all around the world, including Nigerians. One of them is the Order of the British Empire, OBE, a prestigious award given in recognition of acts of courage and devotion to duty, regardless of social rank. The image of Nigeria continues to be burnished, with an appreciating number of her citizens attaining this recognition from the monarchy, and here's how we know. Professor Dame Elizabeth Anyanwu was awarded the OBE for her groundbreaking contribution to British healthcare. She was presented with the award by the Queen herself in 2017. Dame Anyanwu founded the first UK specialist centre for treating sickle cell and thalassemia in 1979. The Professor of Nursing was born to Nigerian parents in Birmingham, UK. She joined the British NHS at 16 and worked up to the prestigious position she is in today. Digital governance and tech entrepreneur Dr. Nneka Abulokwe also received an OBE from Queen Elizabeth II for her service to business. The award was presented to her by Prince William at the investiture ceremony at Buckingham Palace in 2020. Dr. Abulokwe is the co-founder of Think Tank and founder and CEO of Micromax Consulting. Another Nigerian recipient of the Order of the British Empire Award is gospel singer Muyiwa Olariwaju. The award was presented to him in 2022 by Prince William. Olariwaju is best known for putting the gospel music genre on a global scale by mixing traditional music with elements from Africa, the Caribbean and Asia, with soul, R&B and pop. He has also toured with legends like Stevie Wonder and Mariah Carey and worked with superstars Bob Dylan and Lauryn Hill. British-Nigerian engineer Yewande Mayomia-Akinola ended 2019 on a high note after she was awarded the OBE by the Queen. The multi-talented awardee was recognized for services to engineering and to diversity in science, technology, engineering and mathematics, design and innovation. Her wide experience in engineering has placed her in designations to oversee design and construction, innovation and manufacture of buildings and systems in the built environment. She has worked on projects in the UK, Africa, the Middle East and in East Asia. Although some African diaspora communities are not ecstatic about the monarchy, as it reminds them of the dark days of colonialism, oppression, racial tension, and inhumanity, many Nigerians in the UK look forward to King Charles' reign with lots of expectations. As his reign begins, King Charles III may have enormous shoes to fill, especially in the area of continuity as a uniting force, and people are waiting to discover the type of monarch he will be.
And while British streets have been draped in red, white and blue, we crossed to the eastern side of the Pacific, where we found a Londoner who many regard as the king of podiatric medicine. Why? Well, he invented the world's most potent drug for the treatment of diabetes.
Nigerian-born medical doctor Christopher Otiko is a podiatry specialist with over 20 years of medical experience as a foot and ankle surgeon. He completed his graduate studies at Oklahoma State University in the United States in 1993 and earned a doctorate from the California College of Podiatric Medicine in San Francisco in 1997. After completing his residency at Pacific Coast Hospital and San Francisco General Hospital, he moved to Los Angeles to start his medical practice. In 2005, he became board certified in the prevention and treatment of diabetic foot wounds. Since 2009, Dr. Otiko has worked in the biotechnology field performing research and development. His commitment to patient care and cutting-edge medical technology led to the birth of numerous healthcare businesses that provide specialty products. He is the managing director and chief executive officer of Viderma Incorporated, a publicly traded specialty pharmaceutical company in the United States. He also owns a durable medical equipment company and co-founded a wound care management company called Wound Pros. Dr. Otiko is also known for the invention of a new type of typical antibiotic, VitaStem, which is a major contributor to his huge success story in diabetes treatment. VitaStem is approved and acknowledged by the Food and Drugs Agency in the United States to be the world's most potent drug for the treatment of diabetes. The effectiveness of the drug has helped to prevent devastating situations as amputation, which is a common consequence of diabetes. Dr. Otiko is devoting the rest of his career to treating as many people as possible to relieve their pain and help them get their lives back.
Coming up on Diaspora Network, we delve deeper into Dr. Otiko's incredible success story in diabetes treatment. Welcome back to the program. Here's a closer look into the life of this author, innovator, and podiatric specialist. Dr. Christopher Otiko joins us now from San Diego. Thank you so much, Dr. Chris, for joining us on Diaspora Network.
Thank you for having me.
So, let's start off from where you grew up in London, where everyone has been gripped by coronation fever. Do you have nostalgic moments of your time here now that you're on the other side of the Atlantic?
Yeah, I absolutely loved England. Honestly, I remember the first day I actually missed off school. I cried because I loved it so much. I had so many friends there. The only thing I didn't like about England was the weather. But I had a really blessed childhood.
Really? Okay, fantastic. Now, you have an unbelievable success story with the treatment of diabetes. What inspired this career path?
Okay, so I always wanted to be a doctor. I remember when I was 5 years old, I asked my father for a doctor's kit for my birthday. So I always wanted to be a doctor. Growing up in England, I played a lot of football, so and I had a lot of foot injuries. So I decided to become a foot and ankle specialist. And then during my training, I got interested in people with diabetes, and unfortunately, the result of a lot of people that have diabetes and that don't take care of themselves is foot amputations. So I just said, you know what, this is very, very sad. And I dedicated my career to focusing on preventing and treatment of diabetic foot wounds.
So talk to us about this topical antibiotic Vitastem that you've invented, reputed to be the world's most potent drug for the treatment of diabetes. That's quite something. How did you get there?
Right. So the drug is actually, in my opinion, the most potent drug for treatment of diabetic foot wounds. Before I went to medical school, I got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in biochemistry. And during my thesis for my master's degree was actually trying to create new drugs to treat diabetes. So after I became a foot and ankle surgeon, I said, okay, let me just focus on creating a new drug to treat diabetic foot wounds. I started this program. I started branching into the pharmaceutical industry in 2008, and 8 years later, a lot of trials and error and a lot of patience, I was fortunate enough to get the drug to market. So in the United States, it's called Vitastem, and then we're going to introduce it in Nigeria as Tetracycline.
Now, a lot of people accuse you of photoshopping some of the pictures that they see. The claim is that it heals 10 times faster than any other available drug for the treatment of diabetes, and that I know it's been approved in the US. Is it Photoshop? Tell us, and how's it doing? How is it doing in the other parts of the world?
Sure. When I first had that accusation back in 2011, I think it was, I was so angry. I'm like, seriously, you're accusing me of photoshopping? But now I look back, it's actually a badge of honor because the results are so phenomenal. All the pictures are real. The before and after pictures are real. We've just created a drug that's able to penetrate the skin and heal these horrific wounds. No other drug can do this. So all the pictures are real. There's no photoshopping at all.
What's it like being originally Nigerian and having a claim like that? Do you think do people believe you?
You know what? The answer is no. And the sad thing about it is not the patients. The patients believe me. They're willing to accept that. It was the doctors, the colleagues. I've been accused of photoshopping at a presentation. I was given a speech in front of about 500 doctors I think it was in Houston. And one doctor said, this is fake. And I showed him the results. And afterwards, after the lecture, he actually came and apologized.
Well, now, you're a doctor, you're an entrepreneur, you're an inventor as well. That's quite a number of hats to wear for one person. What are some of the challenges that you've faced along the way, apart from the fact that you were not believed at the beginning? Talk us through getting to this point.
Sure. I think the number one hurdle, and this is number one hurdle for a lot of entrepreneurs, is the financial side. I basically had to finance everything for myself. And then after you reach a certain point where you cannot do it anymore, and you bring in investors, and you have to bring in the right type of investors. Sometimes investors are just there for the money. They don't really care about the product or what you're trying to do. And sometimes not all money is good money. And then you realize this is not going to work, and it's actually hindering the progress. So you have to cut them out and go to somebody else and go to another kind of investor that believes in you and believes in your product. So I think the financial side is the hardest part of being an entrepreneur.
Now, we have a lot of doctors, in Nigeria at the moment heading for the area where you are and exiting the country at quite an alarming rate. What do you think needs to be done to slow that down? Having seen your experience, as a doctor working in one of the world's most advanced medical systems, what's your take on that argument?
I think you've got to back doctors. I mean, it takes such a long time for the training, so much time and energy and effort. And so when you get out there, when you finish training, you have to be able to have the right resources to give the best treatment for the patients. And in Nigeria, I mean, it's financial resources, support, So I think that's the major thing. You have to be able to make doctors have at least have that access to the right equipment and medication to be able to give service to the patients. And I think once you get that, and of course the financial resources to pay the doctors well, hopefully that will slow down the brain drain.
And so for all of them who look at you and feel, I want to be out there in San Diego as well, do you have plans to come home anytime? What are you doing in terms of bringing your craft and everything that you've achieved back to help the system back home?
Sure, that's a great question. I left Nigeria in 1991, so that's 32 years ago, and I've been so busy over here. I decided I'm going to be able to get back to Nigeria. And the way to get back to Nigeria is to treat people as much as possible. Okay, so my company Wound Pros, we're in the process of registering tetracyte. It's Vitastem all over the world. It's going to be called tetracyte in Nigeria. We're in the process of registering that with NAFDAC. We've opened up our first office in Ibadan, and I'm going to come and try to save as many people as I can. Diabetes and diabetic foot wounds and diabetic injuries. And not even just that, the drug is used for things like acne, scars, burns, accidents. There's so many people out there that die from these wounds. And so that's my way of giving back to Nigeria.
So apart from the giant strides that you've made now, your name known and your brand known in this particular area, how would you like to be remembered?
That's a great question. I like to be remembered as a good father, a great husband, but I really would like to be remembered as somebody who made a difference in the world. I healed a lot of people, saved a lot of lives, and made people's lives better.
Now, a lot of people in this industry talk about family, not being able to see them as much. What sort of support do you have in terms? You've talked about your family, but tell us a bit more.
Okay, so my immediate family, they actually eventually moved over here to the United States. My sister still lives in London. She's a midwife in London. She decided that she prefers London than America. But I do have a lot of cousins and aunts in Nigeria, and thank God for technology, we're able to keep in touch with them through Skype and Zoom and things like that.
All right, now let's talk about your book. We know you wrote a book, Lost in America. That's quite an apt title. Tell us about that.
Okay, so that was written it took me about 4 years to write it, from a period of 1992 to 1996. And it was just kind of it was a form of therapy for me, because I'd grown up in England, and then I moved back to Nigeria when I was 14. So moving from London to Nigeria at 14 was pretty traumatic. So I went through a lot of trials and tribulations and stress in Nigeria, and then coming to America and trying to get yourself through medical school, working 3 jobs. It was pretty stressful. So I've always been, my passion is writing, and I like comedy. So somebody said, I was telling you all these stories to my friends and my doctors, my friends, my teachers. They said, you need to write a book. So I decided to write a book about it.
So with all that you've achieved so far, what's next for you?
Next for me, honestly, is to get tetracyte all over the world. I stand by my belief it is the best drug available to treat diabetic wounds. There's nothing like that on the market, and it's not a boastful statement. It's the truth. So we've established a pretty strong market hold in the United States for our company Wound Pros on the medical side, on the clinical side. Now what I'd like to do is establish the drug all over the world. It's my belief in the next 4 to 5 years, it will probably be the best topical antibiotic for treating diabetic foot wounds, not only in Nigeria, across Africa, and across the entire world.
Did you encounter any difficulties? Because I know you talked to me earlier about a branch that you tried to open within the country. Any difficulties there, or is it all running up smoothly?
NAFDAC is it's a lot of work to get a drug registered in Nigeria, but I have helped my cousin over there and a couple of people here in the United States. They've used the drug on their family members. They believe in it. So with time, we're going to get there.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Christopher Otiko, for doing this on Diaspora Network. We're going to be looking out for you. And thanks for the great work that you're doing over there on the East Coast.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the country indeed has many bright minds, many of whom receive prestigious awards for their outstanding contributions to the arts and sciences, to charity, and of course to welfare organizations. It's heartwarming to see how such public service brings honor to Nigeria on the world stage. And that's the show. You can catch all episodes of Diaspora Network on our website, channelstv.com, or of course on YouTube. I'm Ijeoma Onyato. See you next time.